Greetings, mortals. This is Zephus the Dragon. Welcome to another live stream. This is the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. There is a lot to say about this game, and not a lot to say about this game. It's one of those interesting conundrums. It's a game that's hard to describe. It's easier to play. It's just weird. Like, yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's bizarre. If you go into it completely blind, it's a good idea. So, you know, if you've played it before and you're watching my stream, great. You're watching me fiddle around with it. I've played the original Stanley Parable, so I know what I'm getting into. So, let's just say at the beginning of this video, I'm going to post it now. This game is spoiler territory immediately. Like, the second you start, yeah, there's spoilers everywhere, so keep that in mind. A little housekeeping before we begin. Nintendo eShop sale is huge right now. One of the big ones, Square Enix, is doing their Golden Week, so all their Square Enix games are at least half off, I think. It's pretty cool. One of the big sales, though, has nothing to do with Square, and I recommend this highly. If you are watching this now, later, or with it whenever, it's got like 2 weeks as of today, which is the 29th of April. The Deponia series of point-and-click adventure games, the entire series is on sale for $4 for the whole thing. So, if you're into point-and-click adventure games and you have a Switch, I super recommend Deponia. I played it on PC on Steam years ago. It's amazing point-and-click adventure game, and with all four of them being on sale for $4, it's pretty cool. Like, just get the whole thing for $4 and you can play the whole 4 games. It's great. It's like $1 a game. That's a big deal. Also, don't know what I'm doing next week, so we'll see. Probably dip into one of my roguelike games. Play that for that. And then there's some games coming down the pipe later in May. And then, of course, Paladins will get its update in May also, so we'll be playing that for at least 1 week. And then July and September are going to be fun. July, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out, and in September we've got Splatoon 3. And Splatoon 3 might take over my Paladin slot. We'll see. The way Paladins has been recently, and the way Splatoon 3 looks, it might be a swap, so we'll see. But until then, we're doing Stanley Parable. We're going to go ahead and start. And the end is never the end. That's very true in this game. We're going to start with the normal thing, and we'll go from there.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, I love it. This is the story of a man named
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Just another cog in the wheel, sir.
Number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427, and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although
sounds like a dumb
others
job,
might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
There's a lot
and then
of
one day, something very peculiar
jokes about
happened.
this game
Something that would forever change Stanley.
because it's
Something he
simple
would never
nature
quite
of it.
forget.
The idea
He had been
that
at his desk for nearly an hour
weird
when
stuff
he
happens.
realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so now we're in control. Let's see if there's Crouch. There's some interesting writing on the wall. There's the phone. So yeah, it's the Stanley Parable. Oh, this stick does not move very fast. Let me see if I can Let's see if I can do that. It's a little better. It's still slow. So, this
All
is
of his
Stanley.
co-workers were gone.
His
What
office.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's only crouch, by the way. This game doesn't have a lot going
how hard
on.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Petition
co-workers.
Corps providing partitions for 56 years. That's what it says on the signs. There's always weird things. Anyway, this game is full of weirdness. That's what makes it cool. Like, you see this office and it's like, this is the game, but it isn't the game. Like, it's hard to describe. You'll find out as we go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left. So we're going to follow the instructions this time. So go into the door on the left. Wait, what was that? These pictures. Very, very pretty. Okay, so now we're in this room.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Nope, not in the meeting room.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let's see, read some of these slides here. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Yep, very much so. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Everyone is unique. You most of all. I love the words here. Monetize free to play. Yep. Synergize core value expenditures. Yep. Alright. So we're out here in this office. Ah, there's the broom closet. The broom closet!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I did it. I got the broom closet ending.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Upstairs. Again, we're following the directions first. We'll do the fancy stuff later. So now we're at the boss's office. What's over here? Executive bathroom. I got the feeling of stealing, but you've got yours, of course. I can't even read that. I barely can read that. Anyway. Mirrors don't work. Okay. Into the boss's office. Secretary's computer. The beige pages. Oh, this game's so much.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Nope.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
No, he couldn't have, but thank you, narrator, for telling me that. Oops. Jeez Louise. Okay, 2, 8, 4.
Stanley just
5.
sat around twiddling. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Or,
he
you know,
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
you told it to me, being the awesome narrator that you are. Like I said, we're going to go through the normal one first, and then we'll do the crazy stuff later.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Off we go.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Mind
door
control
that read
facility.
Mind control facility.
Escape. 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 Nope. Narrator told me to go this way.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Did he?
Did he have the strength to find out?
Sure. He's going to find out in a second. Numbers, papers, computers, stuff. Pushing button.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where is it? 427. There, right there. Stanley's 427. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Conveniently place cigarette butts. I think you have to do this first and then go back. It's been a while.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Yeah.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yep. Okay, I think this is where you have to wait a second. The elevator comes down, you wait a second, and then these doors open back up. I hope. I hope I'm doing this right. There we go. Yep, we did it right. This is a super secret thing. This has nothing to do with the ending, nothing to do with anything, but it's a fun little super secret. So once you're done, you go back over here and you push this button again. Yep, there you go. Doot, doot, doot. Super secret. Okay, now we go on the elevator.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
You can also escape from that point if you want to.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I don't know. There we go.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation,
There's some writing over
to put
there.
an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
But was Stanley being controlled the whole time? Ah.
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
There's a certain sense of discussion of free will in this whole game.
Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Yep.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Yep. Like I said, there's a certain sense of the discussion of free will.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
This is, like I said, there's an interesting discussion of free will in that whole thing, because your free will, even Stanley's quote-unquote free will, was still dictated by a narrator. So that's the normal ending, if you follow the path directly. But it's never over, because you start over again. So let's go through some weird endings. So this one's one of my favorites. You just, doop, close the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
Yep.
No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait.
Yep.
Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell.
Yep.
But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
Yep.
Here it comes.
Nope. That's the give up ending. Just, nope, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take this. I'm out. Okay, so let's see here. I know that there's also a thing you gotta keep an eye on the screens. One of the screens will have
Stanley
that.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, see if I can clip through, because this is another ending. You have to... you gotta find the way to clip through this window. There it is. Out!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map.
He had.
Until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Yep.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag yet? Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game.
Yep.
So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton.
Too bad you can't go very far.
All day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Okay. Ta-da! The narration. This is the narrator's song. Just stare at the windows all day. No, you can't quit. Otherwise you don't get the ending. It sucks. You gotta stay here and wait. Do the whole narration's whole thing. It's silly. Also, you can't jump in this game. There's 2 buttons. Duck, crouch, and activate things, and then that's it. It makes it a fun experience for all. Do. Yes, the narrator's trying to make it as annoying as possible. That's the idea. But you do get out of it eventually. So how are you doing? How are we all doing today? We're gonna talk over this bit for a bit because not much happens until the game says something happens. I can't remember how long it is. It's a decent amount of time. So you have to go through this. Eventually the narrator gives up and is just like, and turns it off. But until then, you have to stick with it. So we're gonna stick with it. You can fast forward a bit if you want to, if you're watching this later. Just, there we go. The music died. It's breaking. Are you gonna let me out now? Yeah, there you go. Achievement unlocked. You can't jump. I don't think you actually can escape here unless you restart. But I remember that you do get the achievement, so. See, I've got get your first achievement, beat the game, quit the game, and then start it again. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday? Really? Click on door 438. Speed run. Complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes. Yeah, that's actually easily done. You just go. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Yep. Set all sliding settings in the menu to all the available numbers. That's fun. Okay. Interesting, though, that they have a apply and toggle for this. I also forget that one. Anyway, so begin the game again. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
There's
to go
that
to the
one.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's 420.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
Yep.
but it didn't make a single difference,
Or is
nor
it
did it
430?
advance the story in any way.
Oh, there's the thing. That's 430, that's right. 430 is inaccessible.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Yes.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth?
Yes.
No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Okay. Alright, Mr. Narrator. I'll play your game, you rogue.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost.
Okay.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Okay. Where is 417? There it is.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Okay. 437, there it is.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Alright. Sounds like a plan. Find 415. There it is.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay. Narrator, making you jump through hoops.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Okay.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Hold on.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Okay.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Okay. I think the narrator's having more fun with this than I am.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
I don't know, but I made it. Alright, so we did that. That's a thing. So yeah, the other thing to keep an eye out is these computers. It says input received. Alright, so we continue on.
When Stanley came to a set
Okay,
of
still
2
go to the
open
left.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're still going to do the left. But we're going to break down from here.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yep.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his bosses. Oh no, no, not again. I won't
Yep.
be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
Yep.
I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room.
Broom
Please
closet ending.
take your time.
I want the broom closet ending. Okay, moving on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, he didn't. He walked downstairs to the basement.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
1, 2, B4.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Yeah.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Yep.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And when he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real.
It's amazing
and
what a
isn't.
few choices can make
It
in
was
the
comforting
concepts
to
of a
think
story.
this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Where's the input screen? There it is. There we go. I did the input. New content. Okay, now we're getting into the fun stuff.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Now we're getting into the Ultra Deluxe stuff. New content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Mm-hmm.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Ultra
a reimagining
Deluxe.
of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh,
Dun,
well,
dun,
this
dun.
sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
So am I. I'm also kind of worried.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Let us begin the adventure. This is the new crap, so let's see what it is.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Dun, da, da, da. New stuff.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious.
Yeah.
It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
All right, we're going.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Hey, Stanley can jump. I was just commenting about how you can't jump. You can jump. Look at that. Woo! Jumpy, jumpy, jumpy. Oh, that's fun.
Is that it?
Yep.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
No.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
I mean, it is new,
content,
technically.
And I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's
Yep.
20 hours of new content right there.
Yep.
Hell, I could count to 30 trillion.
Hello.
Put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content.
Yep.
And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I'm ready too. Thank you for enjoying the
That's
new
it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship
That's
gone
funny.
into it.
I love
In fact,
it.
I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What
Yep.
quality assurance department signed off on this? It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
That's actually funny.
No frills, no gimmicks.
That is a funny
Just you and me
commentary
having a
on
good time
video
together
gaming
like
right there.
always. What do you say, friend?
That's actually a funny commentary on gaming in general. Oh. 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 Things have changed. Dude, we didn't reset the game. Things have changed. Okay, now we're getting into the meat of this.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
What if I don't want to go in the vent? Alright, we'll go in the vent. Mr. Narrator. That's actually funny. I like that little nod to video game development. That's funny. The state of modern games. Sort of like, Ultra Deluxe, nothing's really changed. Nope,
Okay,
it actually has in
remember
this
how
one.
cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
The Memory Zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap Nintendo Switch port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched. Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
It did win a bunch of awards, though. Didn't win that one. Oh yeah, the Stanley Parable demo. I need to unlock that achievement. Now I can, because it's been over 5 years since this game come out. And then it's impossible to get this achievement. But it is possible. You have to hack the game, but you can do it. It did get a lot of British nominees, though. It did do that.
An And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Again, I do love this commentary on video game development and on deluxe sequels and all that stuff. Sometimes rushed development, deluxe sequels.
Here's another moving passage. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the Nintendo Switch. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
I bet you the other versions say their consoles too. Like, it ported to the Nintendo Switch. The Serious Room. You can't get to the Serious Room. But it's funny because, like, this got released on everything. So this one, obviously, they're talking about the Nintendo Switch. But I'm wondering if you talk about other ones.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
Can I not go in there somehow? Can I move the boxes? Move. Okay, they don't move.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
No.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh dear. Okay. I'm very curious about this. This is going to be interesting.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
I want to see where this goes.
Then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming
I'm not turning
his,
the narrator
so
off.
So
That's
forth,
part of the
until
fun of this
inevitably
game.
We all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much, and it can't be just yet. No, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards. The deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much, and it can't be just yet. No, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards. The deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices.
Okay, now it's repeating.
therefore,
Okay,
by
that's
becoming
not
is,
fair.
So on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end.
That's not fair.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video
No,
games.
it was literally a
Of course, I
cycle.
happen to
That's
believe
not
it was
fair.
perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
I get the idea of the
I'll
concept,
outline
but
it
come
for
on,
you
that
very
wasn't fair.
briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Sure.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite?
Sure.
You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once.
I get you.
That you are both making choices and not making choices.
Sure.
And that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time, by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay,
Great thought,
first,
man.
I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it.
Sure.
But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone?
Sure.
It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history.
Great
Ambitious
thought,
history,
man.
if you will. See,
Smoke
now
it if you
you've
got
gotten
it.
me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day.
Yep.
Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation. And I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated
Are you going to loop
succession
again?
until
That's
I
not
become
fair.
sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Okay, you're cheating.
Treatise, manifesto.
Skip.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button.
Sure.
The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps.
Pressurized gas review.
I don't even know if one can change
I got that
first
joke
place.
finally.
I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works.
Pressurized gas.
Perhaps
Yes.
that would have been a smart
A certain
thing to check
gaming
on before I went on
platform
about this
where you
whole
can download
exercise of
games.
making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review.
Here we
so
go
that
again.
The feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone,
detector.
for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever
He's gonna
erred in
ramble
their
again.
judgment.
Come on.
You are not beyond redemption.
Look, I get the joke,
You may
though. It's
change,
funny. The
and you may
concept
become
of
more,
change
so much
and
more than you were
deluxing,
before.
quote-unquote, video
If there is
games,
any message to be taken from
where
the Stanley
there
Parable
aren't that
Ultra
many
Deluxe,
changes
it
in
is this.
actuality.
What a fortune.
It's like they change one little thing and they
The joy is
release it
to
as
have
Ultra
had such an
Deluxe,
experience. It
or
leaves me
Super
hope
Deluxe, or
that as
Hyper
a
Deluxe, or
community, as a
Deluxe
world,
Edition, or
there is
Revamped
time for us to
Edition, or
become our
whatever.
greatest selves,
This is
as
the
great as we
era
ever
of
could dream of in our
redeluxed
wildest,
games.
most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect.
I just
It's
don't like the fact that he's
perfect review.
constantly
It's the
looping to
review I've
force you
always
to hit the
dreamed
skip
of
button
receiving.
every time.
Well, I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of
Yep.
depravity.
Now you're repeating yourself.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe
Also, the door's
30,
gone.
45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
Okay.
I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of
Yeah,
here?
good question.
Where did the door go?
Yeah. What did
Wasn't
you
there
do
a
with it?
door that led into this room?
Uh-huh.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before.
Yes.
How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place?
Yep.
I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a
Well,
window
the clock
there?
had changed.
A porthole?
No.
A sufficiently large crack in the wall?
No.
I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave?
That would be the ultimate
Please,
final
I'll take
boss.
Any option at all.
But
I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another.
I would love a door, too.
I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door.
okay.
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please. please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
But what if I want to press the skip button?
Yes, good. I'll be right back.
How long? Alright, now the game is testing me. Do I press the skip button or not? I'm pressing it. I don't care.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Wow.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are.
Who are they?
What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury.
Also, some of the lights are off, too. I just noticed that.
Anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone. That I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Yeah.
Don't you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me.
Man, talk
When
about
you press
waxing
that
poetic.
button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell.
Also,
that I am
the lights are
becoming
weird
less
back
and
here.
less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Okay. Goodbye.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley.
Are you gonna just let me out eventually?
Months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what
I love
took
how the
its
smoke
place
detector's
is
still
what
working,
I
at
can
least.
only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines,
Sure.
and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid, as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well.
I'm pretty consumed by
Perhaps
it.
you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Or, you know, you can just let me out. Skip. Dun dun dun. Skip didn't work this time. He broke the game. Now the smoke detector's broken. Clock's broken. Smoke detector's broken. Everything's broken. It's all broken. The whole world's broken.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment
Even the
of
clock's
others.
busted.
But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely
I love
must
that,
speak
how
to
this
who
is
we
like
are as people, because otherwise,
a
without our
narrative on
entertainment, we have
gaming in
nothing.
general.
Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves.
They're like, this is
We would
wrong with
turn
my
to look at
game,
our
I should
deep
change
nature
it. But
and find
don't
a
necessarily have to
resounding
change it just
emptiness
because of
gazing
some
back
reviews.
with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter
Makes me wonder what would happen if I took the
my,
other
how
door.
good does it feel now to speak truth to these words? And finally are now these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized gas.
Pressurized gas.
Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about
Pressurized
me.
gas.
Perhaps the state of their psychological
That's what I'm gonna call
being
it from
is
now
in such
on.
tatters,
I'm
and
gonna
my
call it
constitutional
pressurized
willpower
gas.
Are so ironclad in
The
comparison.
pressurized
Perhaps
gas
it was
store.
This state that they sought some outlet through which to
I
tear
play
me
VR on
down.
pressurized
This,
gas.
You can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect
You
that
can get the
game
pressurized
be funny,
gas deck.
to be filled with yucks and whimsical humor. That it amused, but they didn't understand the game was never
Oh,
meant
now
to
he's
be funny. It
repeating.
was meant to
Gosh
have a
darn
point.
it.
It was meant to speak to the
Nope, skip. Can you let me out now? Please. Thank you. No. Is there a door? Back here? No. We're in a state of perpetual
The end is never the end, is
Never the end,
is
yep.
never the end, is 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 never
Skip.
the end.
There's a fine line between ingenious and insanity. This is it. Right here. This moment in this game is the fine line between genius and insanity. Wow. You know, if I let it wreck a little bit more, a few more years under the skip, I might be able to get out. There might actually be an exit. Because that door finally cracked the wall. Let me out. Let me out. This says a lot to the human condition right here. The fact that nature is taking over. Nah. Wow. That went dark real fast. That took a turn. That went from, oh, how nice, to, oh, horrifying. Okay. The world has changed, apparently. I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. Okay, now... Oh, hey, an exit. Finally. Look at that. We're free. We got out of that bunker of a room. Now we can explore this new world. Kind of. Sort of. Maybe. Yay! The new content is here! Look! New content! The new content! Oh, won't let me explore the top of the building? Okay. Oh, that's it? Hey, we're back at the office again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's so cool, though. There are actually choices in the new content. I just chose to follow the narrator and what he did. Where's the button? New content. Okay, before I do that, let's see if I can... if one of the computers has the push input. It probably isn't in this office on this run. That's the tricky thing about the push the button thing, is that...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
co-workers. Yeah, it's not here.
Okay,
so we're going to go to the new content. New.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Is it behind this door? Okay. Let's go see this exciting new. Off we go again onto the new. New. Yeah, there was an option to either go into the vent or not go into the vent. I chose to go into the vent where he was saying, hey, follow me. I'm very curious what happens if I didn't choose the vent. Okay, they skipped straight to the elevator sequence. How nice.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
Absolutely.
So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever,
worried.
The Stanley Parable 2.
Oh dear. I'm kind of concerned.
Yes, you see? Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is
could
what
it?
fans have truly been asking for.
Is it? Though? Again, it's a great metaphor on the concept of
Calling it
video
the Stanley
games.
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Yeah.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Two doors.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts,
Who took the
surely
red
the
Barker
game will
and
sort
me?
of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Is it though? Every pause button is the Roman numeral 2. That's a good thought, actually. This way to the show floor. Okay. New features, new content, new everything. What's over here? Can I go in the bus? No. Why do we need a bus? Why? Okay. Is there a bus in the new Stanley Parable? Oh my! Look at that. That's amazing.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. Red is the new orange. The new office. The baby's grown up.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
This is weird. Okay, Stanley.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Okay.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Sure.
Okay,
I'm
here
Jim
we go.
now.
Let's take a deep breath.
I'm not Zephus, I
Clear
am
your
Jim.
mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I am Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim.
Okay.
Sleeping and waking as Jim.
I am Jim.
Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim.
Yes.
Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim.
I am
and
Jim.
As Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust.
I am Jim.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am now Jim. There is no other person but Jim. I am Jim.
Jim.
Hey!
Yes! You
The game
see?
said my
What a
name. I am
thrill, what a
Jim.
rush. That was you! The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Fine. I am Jim.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Sure.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
All right. Good. I don't want to be Jim anymore. I don't like being Jim. Jim's an ass. I hate Jim. Jim's a horrible person. Let's all agree that Jim is a horrible person. Put it down in the comments. Put it in the chat. Jim is a horrible person. Okay.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2.
That'd be
would
kinda
actually
rude.
save me the work of finishing this feature.
That would be kind of rude, actually, so don't do that. I don't appreciate that. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. Okay, let's go see what this is.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical.
Really?
That
That
it
was a
engendered
complaint?
Chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Okay.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
But that's the whole
And to be
concept of the
honest,
game is
it's a much more
jarring
convenient solution
cognitive
for me
dissonance.
than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
All right, bucket.
Come on, give it a try.
All right. I'll take the bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow
I have a
of
bucket.
comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping.
I
through
somehow
your
have a
body.
bucket
And in
now.
fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Why do I have a
The
bucket?
benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
No.
All this and more await you in the Stanley
In
Parable.
Stanley Parable 2, you get to hold a bucket. I don't like the bucket. Can I get rid of the bucket? I don't like the bucket anymore. The bucket's annoying. Can I put the bucket in the chair? No. Do I have to carry the bucket with me? I have a
Does
bucket
anyone
now.
give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
I mean,
That
sure.
really should be an award if it isn't already.
Best bucket in a game. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Best bucket ever. Let's go to wherever this is. No screenshots. Okay.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons.
That would kind of
But
actually
I'm
defeat the
undecided on
purpose.
Get well someday and happy 12th birthday.
That's
Which would
also
you go
bad.
with?
Neither. Can I get rid of this bucket? I don't like this bucket. Can I get rid of it? No more bucket? Oh, goody. I have to choose. Get well someday. Happy 12th. No, this one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Oh, well, you know what would be fun? I think I bet you if I picked the
Maybe I
other one,
should
it would go
go
that.
with- No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Free, new, and easy achievement. I can't believe it is simple. Get it here. Okay. How do I get it? Pull the lever, receive your achievement, no more steps. It works. Okay. Sure.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel. To at
That's
last
actually funny.
satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
If I pull it enough times, can I break it? Why do I still have this bucket? Also, why am I in the basement? That's a horrible place to put that. Game development wise, that's a bad idea. Don't put
What
things in
else?
the basement.
What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
No, there's the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Aw. If I had known that I could use up all my jumps there. That's kind of sad. It's over here. Oh. A guide. Okay. Wow. This guide is not very guidey. Where's the infinite hole? Over there. The infinite hole. There it is. It won't end. Okay. What's this? Oh, that's the no screenshots room. Okay. Let's go find the infinite hole with my bucket. Can I throw the bucket down the infinite hole? Just so I can see what happens. Rim, depth, surrounding area. Check. Infinite hole chart. Okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Okay. I love it how the roof fell into place. Okay. Bye. There I go.
Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Really?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
What if I don't want to?
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
No, I don't think I will. I think I'll enjoy the infinite.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite?
No.
Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
Yep.
From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
Yep.
What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
I
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
I have a bucket.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I
Why don't
didn't
we
say
just
anything.
put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
There's no such thing as mostly
If that works
infinite.
for you,
How about really
then
deep?
Go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole, and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
I still have this bucket.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
This bucket isn't helping me feel any calmer about this whole thing, by the way. I know that's the idea behind the bucket, but I don't feel it. Can I get rid of this bucket? Please. I don't want the bucket anymore. Alright, moving on. What's up here? That's new. Settings World Champion. Not accessible. Well, that sucks. I just went all the way up there for nothing. Collectibles. Alright, that's new. Epilogue. Oh, yeah, we're back there. We're back to the gym room. Jim's an arse. Just remember that, everybody. Write it in the comments. Okay. I hate Jim. Jim sucks. Jim's a loser. That's not disturbing. What do we got here? Exit, jump, circle, collectibles. Exit that way. Okay. I still have this bucket.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic
There's a lot of
joy
games that
watching
do
a
that,
number
by the
go
way.
up.
Just want
You
to point that
simply
out.
collect all of them,
You
and
collect,
then you
there's a
move the hell
collectible in the
on with
game,
your
you collect all of them and
unremarkable
nothing
life.
happens. At least nothing of value. Cough, cough. Breath of the Wild, cough, cough. All the Dekus. Alright, let me out? Can you stop? Oh. Am I walking towards this collectible? Is that what's going on? Okay. Still have the stupid bucket. Can I get rid of the bucket? Is there a place to drop the bucket? Wow, they make you walk far for this collectible, don't they? Okay, that's not creepy and weird at the same time. Yay! I found one. Now it's gonna make me look.
It is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Is it tragic? Is there actually 6 statues? That would be actually funny if there were actually 6 to find. The button that says Jim. Yeah, it's supposed to be the button that says your name, and they changed that on the outside. That's funny. By the way, we all hate Jim. Jim's a horrible person. Like, comment, and subscribe about how much you hate Jim. Meow.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim.
Yep.
I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Aw. There goes the Jim button. That sucks. Alright, let me go find the beginning and see if I can drop this bucket off real quick. I don't need it anymore. I doubt there's actually 6 statues to find. That would be silly. I mean, granted, this game is silly to begin with, but that's even more silly than silly. Can I get rid of this thing? I don't need a reassurance bucket. I'm fairly reassured without the bucket. Well, I have the bucket with me forever now. I am carrying a reassurance bucket. I feel reassured that I'm carrying a reassurance bucket. Alright, let's see. I think that's everything. I've done everything. I did the achievement and failed. I did the collectibles. Alright, so now I just have to get out of here. Alright, exit this way.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
No, not quite. I do want to go to that area where it says epilogue real quick. E for exit. Okay, I don't want to go to the exit yet. I want to go to the epilogue room. Then I'll go to the exit. Because like I said, I'm very curious what that epilogue is. Before we leave. Alright, that's new. Alright, let's go here.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Oh, that's it? Okay, well that was boring. That was highly uneventful. Also, I'm still carrying this bucket. Settings, world champion. Yeah, I went up there, nothing happened. Sadly. Wonder if that's a thing. Settings, world champion. Interesting. That's new. I love it how you can do that, though, by the way. Okay. I wonder what happens if I do this.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay, back to the game. I'm still carrying this silly bucket. Alright, I'm done. Let's go. What's at the end? The end. Also, let's see what time it is. I might not get to the giant turtle ending, unfortunately.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
Okay.
I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
Here
Let's
it
go.
is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
I'm worried.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this.
I'm
Here we go.
very concerned.
Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
Yeah?
And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
No.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
You can't
I wanted
really do
fans
that.
to
That's
love it. No matter
another
how
one of
good
those
these gags
things
are,
that...
they wouldn't stand on their own.
Yep.
They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
That's the thing. You can't capture the magic of the original. Any game like that. Oh, boy. Okay. I'll bite. Do I still have the bucket? I hope I don't still have the bucket. I'm done with the bucket. But yeah, I'll bite. Let's see what we got here.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push
This
them,
isn't a sequel.
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Spoiler, he had. But we played that already. We did that ending.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Stanley Parable 2.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And there's the bucket. I ain't touching that bucket. No. No, no, no. You cannot make me take that bucket again. I'm done with the bucket. No buckets. No more buckets. No, not a bucket. Okay. Okay, moving on.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up.
Nope.
Why was he not doing it?
When
Nope.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, we're gonna go through this. I don't want the bucket. I'm going through the door on my left.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not
Feeling
getting
a
fired.
wave of disbelief, Stanley
Hey!
decided to go up to his boss's office.
Boo!
hoping he
They
might find
boarded
an
up
answer
the
there.
broom closet. I don't know if I like this sequel.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, we're gonna go through the standard again. I don't want your bucket. Anything new in the executive bathroom? Hey!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
That's actually funny. Ah, there's the input screen. There you go. And open that door.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings.
What was that?
Desperate for clues to
431?
his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. I'm playing the Stanley Parable too. It's the same thing as the original Stanley Parable, just with more balloons. All right, moving on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, he didn't. He's escaping.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward.
Yes.
And willingly confront his death.
I'm confronting it. I've confronted it.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief. brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, Farewell.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Or was he?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Mm-hmm. The 2 doors. File cabinets. Office computers. There's the doors. Ah, the credits. The copy machine. The maintenance room.
To end this injustice forever. Green door.
Kevin Brighting.
Stanley pushed the orange lever. Now then, this elevator. Stanley.
The quote-unquote museum ending, as they call it. The variations of Stanley's office.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your Nintendo Switch. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
There is no way to beat the game. Yay, okay. That was fun. We went through a lot of the different narratives.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's the input.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, it's over. We're done. The sequel is now paused. That's kind of cool. I like what they did with that. They had fun with it, definitely. They just took the original game and then made some slight modifications. Quit the game and start it again. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of Tuesday. 8. I don't remember how to do 8. Complete the Stanley Parable in that long. So yeah, that's the actual. You have to get to the correct ending. But anyway, that was fun. I enjoyed that. There was a lot there. It was good times. So that was Stanley Parable 2. Hope we had fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that. Tell us how much you can't stand Jim. Jim's a horrible person. And until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you next time.